Good morning, guys. Welcome to another What I Eat in a Day as a Filipino nutritionist. Today, we're focusing on blood sugar friendly meals. These are meals that can help keep your blood sugar response steady, which can also help keep your energy and craving steady. The first way we can control this is through the first thing we eat during the day, which is usually breakfast. What's key is to have a breakfast that has protein, fiber, and healthy fats. This is a breakfast quesadilla. It has protein from the egg, fiber from the spinach and mushrooms, and healthy fats from the olive oil used to cook the eggs. And my black coffee with creatine and collagen, which has 9 grams of incomplete protein, just to add a little more protein to the whole meal. As a little experiment, I'm also wearing a CGM. It's a continuous glucose monitor. It's a nifty little tool that shows how your body responds to what you eat and what you do. You see all the data through the Ottai app, which I downloaded on my phone. Here's a screenshot of my baseline. It's the shaded part, which you can see is from 70 to 140 mgdl or milligrams per deciliter. The horizontal line is my blood sugar level. Currently, it's at 85 mgdl in its fasted state before eating anything. Ideally, we want to keep this line within the baseline throughout the day. But it's completely normal for the line to go up and down. All meals can raise our blood sugar up to a certain extent. And not just food, also things like sleep, exercise, stress, genetics, hormones. So it's not really realistic to aim for a straight line all the time. But what we're generally trying to avoid are very large spikes, like way beyond the baseline, followed by sudden crashes. A more gradual rise and fall is what we're after. So blood sugar spikes usually come from eating sugar or refined carbs. So a way to reduce the spike is to not eat these sugar or carbs alone, but to pair it with, again, a source of protein, fiber, and healthy fat. So with this breakfast, my blood sugar should be pretty controlled. So here's my blood sugar level around 1 hour after eating breakfast. It went from 85 to 103 mgdl, but it's a gradual rise and still within baseline. So for lunch, first things first, we cook our rice, which I know doesn't sound blood sugar friendly, but a great way to reduce the spike is by adding fiber to it. This is zakukumai. It's a Japanese multigrain rice with around 14 different types of whole grains. All you need to do is for every 1 cup of rice, add 2 tablespoons of zakukumai, then cook the rice the way you normally would. And guys, the taste and texture come out exactly the same as white rice. It's not rubbery or hard or mushy. It's just awesome. If you can't find zakukumai in your area, I get this in a local bakery near our house. There are a lot of other blood sugar friendly options like black or brown or red rice or quinoa or shirataki rice. I'm pairing the rice with tortang talong, which is eggplant dipped in egg and fried. It's a very classic Filipino dish and it's pretty well balanced, but it can use more protein, so I'm adding ground beef to it. So here's lunch: tortang talong with ground beef and tomatoes, a vinegar and calamansi sauce, zakukumay rice, and a veggie side. Another tip for steady blood sugar is starting your meal with veggies. So if I start this meal with the bok choy, the fiber helps slow things down. So instead of a sharp spike in blood sugar, I should have a more gradual rise then fall. If it's midday and you want something sweet but not go off on a glucose roller coaster, a yogurt bowl will usually do the trick. The ideal yogurt is unsweetened and made mostly from milk and live active cultures, so we get a good amount of protein and probiotics. A little honey to sweeten it up. Frozen blueberry, so we get in some fruit for today. Granola for extra crunch and flavor. This is actually our product. We sell this in our deli and I like to snack on it once in a while. Unsweetened peanut butter. And cinnamon. It's so good and it has the protein, fiber, and healthy fats that we need and the sweetness that we want. For dinner, we're going with a peanut-flavored noodle and veggie stir-fry. We are using 100% whole wheat durum spaghetti, which has more fiber than regular white pasta. And of course, we're going to pair this with shrimp for protein, cabbage and bell pepper for more fiber, and a peanut sauce for healthy fats. I already finished dinner and I spent around 10 minutes after that just walking around the house. Walking after a meal is one of the best ways to control your blood sugar. Your muscles use glucose or sugar for energy, so moving around helps clear some of that sugar from your bloodstream. You can walk outside, walk inside, do chores, anything that gets your muscles moving. It's really so much better than going straight to your couch or to your bed while you're still full. So this is my line around an hour after dinner. From 81 mgdl, it went up to 104 mgdl, which is still within baseline. And if we look at the past 12 hours, the line went up and down during meal times, which is normal, and it stayed within the target range. Now, before we end, I just want to say that you don't need a CGM to keep yourself healthy. A glucose monitor is just a useful tool to better understand how your body responds to food, but it's not something that we should obsess over all the time. We also, of course, have to pay attention to how we feel, if we have enough energy, and if our meals are keeping us satisfied, as opposed to constantly craving sugar or feeling sluggish after eating. So if there are any takeaways from today's experiment, it's to pair your carbs with protein, fiber, and healthy fats, start your meal with veggies if possible, and walk or move around for at least 10 minutes after a meal. These will make a good impact on your overall blood sugar response. Let me know if you'll try these out yourself, and also if you like this new YouTube series so far. If you do, please feel free to subscribe to this channel for more to come. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.